And I'm saving about, I don't know, $3,500 right now by doing this myself. All right, cool. And I'm ADD, I realize I never played the video. Do you still want to see it before we go to the next thing?
Yeah.
I'll play it real quick for you. And I want to show you after how we're scaling this. The walk the line one, actually, I want to show you part of it. Because what I really want you guys to get is going with the inspiration and emotion and not letting yourself feel afraid or embarrassed of how you might look. I was filming my online course, a video for it. I'm walking, so my guys are working on a project and I'm literally walking around the block fired up in this subdivision in the middle of the summer, around the whole block, like 3 times. And a lady comes out, she's like, "Is everything okay? What's going on?" She was like paranoid. And I was like, "What up, though?" And I just, I had my nice shirt on and embroidered and everything was matching. I said, "Oh, I'm Keith Kalfas. I have a landscaping business. We're working right over there. And I also make videos promoting my business on social media. Would you like a quote?" She's like, no, everything's good. So you have to be like really hyper transparent and confident in those moments. Others are like, what's this person doing, Oh, this is sweet. Walk the line. Boom. All right. This is awesome. It's an ad. Is there any volume?
No.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'll just show you like a minute of it. It's called Walk the Line. So I'm literally taking the backpack blower off. I'm fired up. I'm dialed right into the camera. Like right now, this is all about the shit that's going on in my head, and I'm making this happen. I don't care what anybody thinks. There's also, I've created a neuroassociative trigger that when I put on those glasses, I go into fucking this. I'm telling the truth. So there's all the lines. And
turn off this audiobook. Albert Einstein said, "Only 2 things in this universe are infinite."
That's earlier in the video. How did you do that?
Only 2 things in this universe are infinite. 1,
Can you fast forward to 1 minute and 15 seconds?
the universe, and 2, human stupidity. So I'm working on this property right now, and I had this metaphor I want to share with you.
Wow, good.
Cry and bitch and whine and complain. It's hard over here, it sucks over here. Or eventually,
It's good. It's perfect. That was good. It was like,
and walk the line. You're walking the line. No. Look at this. Another detour, another dead end sucks you down in your life. It could be a toxic family member, a toxic friend. It could be your own toxic psychology. It could be your own issues that you carry with you everywhere you go. And we all have them. I have them, right? And now you're at another dead end. You can sit here for a month, a week. You can sit here for 10 years. You can sit on this dead end your entire life. It's too hard. Look how far that is. I'll never get there. But I want to tell you something. Check this out. You finally get the courage to get back up and walk the line. And you walk that line. And it's hard, and you can't balance. You're like a spring chicken, right? And it's so difficult sometimes, life. The shit that gets thrown at you and the shit you have to deal with and learn to work through and overcome. The things that keep you up all night, the things that stress you out, the anxieties, the uncertainties, will pull you down in themselves, down more dead ends. You get where I'm going with this, right? All these freaking dead ends, man. I got an awesome client that we're working for. He's an old school Greek guy. And I sit in his office with him when I'm getting paid, and we talk about life for a few minutes of business. And he's old school. He says, let me tell you something, Keith. Most everybody you learn in life, they're fucking full of shit. I'm like, but I learn more and more that he's right, because the more you learn and grow in life and in this world, you learn that, oh my God, a lot of the things that you learn growing up from people or people you look up to, you grow up and you find out that that was just a paradigm, and hey, sometimes we're full of shit. So you gotta walk your own line and walk your purpose. But here's what happens. You start to walk this way, you go, I've been down that road before, and you start to get that sixth sense, and you go, oh my God, that's when wisdom grows. I've been down that road. These are dead ends. They're dead ends. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there because now you've learned. You've been ripped off. You've been scammed. You've been screwed by the system, right? So you walk the line, but what happens? What happens? What happens, right? Oh shit! Oh shit! You end up down another dead end. How the hell? I thought you were on your mission, and now you end up all the way down here again, right? And now you're frustrated. Now you're beat up because you've come all this way, and you've got so far to go, and now you're sitting at another dead end in your life again. Again. And this time you give up, throw in the towel, people go into depression, turn to drugs or alcohol or whatever it might be. You can't even get out of bed for a month. Maybe you've lost everything and went bankrupt. Maybe a person that you love left you, or there was something horrible that happened, and now you're stuck at a horrible dead end. You'll never be able to dig yourself out. You're at a permanent dead end. You can sit there forever and be stuck there. And it's gonna be hell. Because now you crossed the Rubicon, you're at the point of no return. How the hell are you even gonna get back? Maybe it sets you all the way back to back there. Way back to the beginning. Oh shit. If you imagine being a grown ass man. This happens to a lot of people, and things happen to you in your life that put you all the way back, not only at square one, but deeply in debt. Now you're way over there, dude. How are you ever gonna get back? But the knowledge and the wisdom that you've learned along the way is so important, because you can get back faster, right? So you force yourself to get up, you get out of the depression, you get a new job, you start a business, you settle the bankruptcy, whatever that horrible thing is, right? And before you know it, amazing things happen when you fully commit 100%. When you really get, there's an amazing book by Think and Grow Rich Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil. He talks about walking, not a line, but not drifting, right? Not drifting. And staying on the straight and narrow in your consciousness is actually the devil can't get to you when you have a definiteness of purpose, right? I like David Data, he says, lock yourself in a room with a notepad and pen and don't come out until you know your purpose. Because once you become purpose-driven, like Rick Warren, the book, The Purpose-Driven Life, then you can't be, you develop discernment, and you can't be pulled in so many directions anymore, caught up in the swirl. Feel that swirl is what will take you and suck you down like a whirlpool. Like I said, toxic people, and maybe your toxic self. You become more definite. So now you're like, I'm not going on that, screw that. This opportunity is a wolf in sheep's clothing, full of shit. Look at that. Hell no, I've been there before. You're walking, oh shit, down, oh shit. You end up down another dead end. But, you hit this dead end, you go, boom, bounce back quick. Because you've been there. And look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. And maybe not. The finish line, the green grass, where the money grows. And you hit the finish line, and you have arrived, right? And you can get that moment one day where you're on vacation, or maybe you found the love of your life, or maybe you've spread a bunch of money out across your mattress. I actually got the chance to do that like a couple years ago for the first time in my life. And I realized that was a really empty feeling. I was like, oh, this ain't what I thought it would be, right? It's not a lot of money, it's just a goal for me. But you hit a level of gratitude one day where you wake up and you cry I broke down crying over the winter while I was out plowing snow. I bawled my freaking eyes out. I was, oh my God, thank you, God. I've never been so grateful in my life because it hits you like a ton of bricks. That your dream is beginning to happen in front of your own eyes. But look how far you had to come and all the bullshit you had to go through to get there. But people will look at all your successes or whatever, and they'll just be like, and invalidate you. Mother Teresa or Peace Pilgrim said, if you build a large structure or a castle or anything, people will tear it down, right? If you love unconditionally, people will break your heart. Love anyway, build anyway, right? If you have great ideas, people will knock them down, have great ideas anyway, because in the end, it was never between you and them. It's between you and your creator, right? Whoever your creator is to you. It wasn't between you and them anyway. In the end, it's all about your purpose and your mission. So walk your line, because there's one more thing that I want to say. You are actually way down there on the other end. Your higher self. Rooting yourself on, saying, come on, Joe, come on, Mike, come on, Bob, you could do it. But you're all the way back here going, I can't do it, it's hard, oh my God, fucking running on no sleep, like you're a mess, right? And that's real. Grown-ass man or not, or woman, life is really fucking hard sometimes. It's really hard, right? But we're not special. Everybody goes through the same shit. We actually live in the greatest opportunity anywhere, despite some shit. But the temptation will be to get sucked up in stupid bullshit, maybe to do wrong things, or to do things, or get caught and sidetracked and dead ends. That's the temptation, and the temptation will fucking eat your ass alive. But you're on the other end. The metaphorical you saying, come on, you could do it. Good man, good man, good man. Walk your line. Good man. I know, but it's hard. I want to step off the line, right? No, your purpose is to evolve. And evolution, like shedding a snake's skin or shedding, well, I don't want to say a snake. You know what I mean, right? Evolution is painful because it's growing pains. We all go through them. I go through them, right? Walk your line, no matter what.
It's almost done.
Time is on your side, bitch. Time is on the side. I got bills to pay out. I understand, right? But the sooner you start walking that line and not getting caught up in this stupid bullshit and all these detours and dead ends, is the sooner things will start to work out for you. I promise you. All right, I gotta get back to work. We're installing some mulch, prepping these garden beds, and making it look crispy. All right, later. Wow.
So,
you know what's funny? One more thing. Very much so now that I'm in my early 30s, I feel very much like a man, very in control of my thoughts and my business more now so, my household. But there's still a part of my psychology that's a kid, and I don't know what that is. I get insecure about it sometimes, but maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing.
That's good. Thank you so much. So, the whole time I had this idea, and then I went with it. And then once you get over that initial kind of like feeling uncomfortable or that fear, you just kind of settle in and you're like, you keep going all the way to the finish line. There's this book called, I could talk about books forever, but 3 Feet from Gold. Most people stop 3 feet from gold. Or you're like wrapping it up and then you just collapse under the pressure and you're like, never mind, I can't do this. So I'm challenging you, if you start a video, if you start a podcast, go all the way through to the finish line and behave as if you only have one shot. So on these landscape jobs, dude, we set up stuff, we act stuff out. Like, I mean, we will redo the take if it was wrong. We film, we got things very structured now. But what I'm saying is that if you're on a landscaping job and the clock's ticking, or you're out selling jobs, or you're pulling up to a quote, you literally might only have 3 minutes, and that's the only 3 minutes that you have for 4 days. So what are you going to do with that 3 minutes? I built my online business empire, whatever you want to call it, which was in my head what I called it, while literally sitting on the toilet, while my wife was like, what the hell is taking so long? And I'm like, post, and run out the door. I don't bring my phone at the dinner table, and we do date night every Tuesday night, and I put my family first for sure. But I mean, I literally built all of this, and I can't articulate how many views with everything. It's probably like 80 million views or something. And literally in the micro moments of not wasting a second, constantly making it the priority of just taking out my phone and videotaping and posting that shit. Now, the next thing is, there are people who can go like, I mean, you could build a whole business just off making viral content, but it's not super duplicatable, because at some point you got to put structure in. We're diving deep into like our messaging ecosystem, our brand stance, the different customer avatars of people we talk to, and the proprietary language that we speak based off of their behavior and how they react. But what I can say is that, okay, check this out. Find a night of the week and on your calendar, and it's called blocking and tackling. If you want to start a podcast, say like for us, I had to pick a day. It's Wednesdays. I don't care who wants to interview me or who I'm going to interview. It's Wednesday night, anywhere from like, 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. And my wife knows I got a podcast, so I'll eat dinner real quick. But because Tuesday night is our night, I don't do any of that shit, and we eat dinner. But every single Wednesday it's on podcast, so it hits. If you read Atomic Habits by James Clear, it hits automaticity and it becomes a habit. And now every single Wednesday is blocked out for podcasts. If something doesn't get done Wednesday, it can't get done till next Wednesday, because I've got stuff on Thursday that I do. Every Friday is like my pulse meeting with my team, where we go over everything that we're doing on social media and everything that we're doing. Friday is Friday finances. Every single Friday I wake up, the first thing I do, I get my cup of coffee, I'm doing Friday finances, and I don't stop until it's done. We go through everything, we talk to the bookkeeper, we get everything perfect. Sunday I chill and relax, go to the gym, hang out with my family. Monday night coaching is where I usually coach other people on Mondays. And so what I'm saying is, if you want to do something and you build a habit of putting structure into it, you can set up rules for yourself and pre-decide in advance how you're going to behave in these specific scenarios and what you will and won't do. So you could be like, I don't know, Saturday is my video day. Like me, I don't film any videos on Sundays, because I've learned that I'm a different person on Sunday. When I sleep in and I wake up on Sunday, the thoughts that I have and who I am, like I like to play my piano a little, sing a little, play with my dogs, joke around. And I notice that when I make content on Sundays, it's just weird and it doesn't really land, and it's like kind of out there. But if you know that, like say we do Monday quotes in the landscaping business, and if I want to do a Monday quotes video, I'm already doing quotes on Mondays, I'll film the experience and we'll do all of these type of quotes. If the guys, here's another hack, give your employees GoPros and just give them bonuses, or find the one that's the most good at tech. Bro, I want you to record the job sites. Here's 2 GoPros, get a full time lapse, and then just move the camera around every once in a while to videotape you guys working. I paid my one foreman he made $5,800 in bonuses. I paid him just for, dude, he was good at it, bro. He was videotaping all types of shit. And then I would have Keith's angle, so I would have my phone or my GoPro, and I'd be out doing quotes. So I give it to the editor, and the editor just knows. Meanwhile, Keith is out doing quotes. Boom, I'm out doing quotes. So that it goes back to the guys at the job site. So you can actually leverage the social media by having other people on your team create the content for you. And what's good about that, there's a hard thing about building a personal brand, because you have to be there. Imagine Tom Cruise is this famous actor. When he puts out a movie, he's got to be on the Tonight Show, and Conan's not around anymore. But I'm saying all these different places, he has to go and promote that, because he's the personal brand. He's the one promoting the movie. Of course, the movie has a trailer, and they put out millions of dollars of ad spend all over the place. But if you build a business completely around you, then at certain stages you'll get trapped in handcuffs. The business can become you're handcuffed to it, because now you feel like you have to do this thing. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you feel like you have to do something, it can suck all the inspiration and passion out of it. And now you're just I don't know, it feels like This sounds kind of like, I felt very trapped in my landscaping business. Like I have to do this shit for a long time, and I didn't like it. So if you create content, you have to stay connected to your dream and do it on your terms and on your calendar. So I want to check my notes and make sure I'm not missing anything, and then I want to do some Q&A. And after this, I'll be disappearing because I got to catch a flight. We run the whole media business on monday.com. It's a CRM. It is freaking brilliant. So I have millions of video ideas and podcasts and all this shit going on. And so I hired a consultant for like $150 an hour to walk me through monday.com. I brain dumped everything out of my brain. We got it all organized into categories and color coded. And then we put it on monday.com, and I plug my VAs into it, and my executive assistant is on monday.com. Every different idea we have for a podcast or a video or a virtual product, like we have like 12 different online courses. We have another brand that we're starting called Social Media Explosion. Like it's all completely organized and categorized and color code. And so she just goes where that thing is, and we have ongoing conversations about each different topic, and it's freed the bandwidth in my brain up. So now it's just all on the CRM. So all right, you don't need fancy clothes. Don't worry about your environment or what you do or don't have, because where you're at right now in your life is so incredibly unique and perfect. Like if you were like, oh, I don't have, my truck isn't clean, or I don't have the $100,000 truck, or I don't have the Rolex, or I live in this crummy place or something like that, that's perfect. Because where you're at and where you're authentically at is where people will resonate with you and get in where you fit in. That's so perfect, because you're going to look back as you succeed in 2, 3, 4 years and go, well, oh my God, those were the golden years. I'm so glad that I was brave enough to show my journey of where I was really at, and people are going to resonate and love it. If you're broke talking about how to build a multiple six-figure business, people are going to see right through your bullshit in 2 seconds. You can't hide it. There's no point in trying to hide it, and there's no point in being ashamed of it, because you're showing your journey and people will grow with you. So, replace the word me with you, because, okay, if you're talking about yourself in terms to a story of like a lesson, that makes sense. But if on podcasts and stuff, you're always like, me and I, and this thing about me and me and me and me and me and I, people tune out real quick and they're like, oh my God. So keep it focused on them or the product, or so you have a stage. Check this out. You got a stage, and you can put 3 things on that stage. You could put you on the stage in the spotlight and make everything about you, and you'll plateau really quick. You won't really get off a certain point. Your second option is you could put your product on the stage, your product or your service. That's how you can really grow and take off. But the way the best leaders at all in media and like social media and all this stuff is you can put your customer on that stage. And that's how you can really take off. And you get to the point where you realize nobody even really cares about you. And the only reason you should ever even talk about yourself is if it pertains back to the main point that helps move their journey along. It's the customer journey. So nobody really cares about you. They care about themselves. Never sacrifice your audience's trust for money, ever. And so there's levers you can pull. You can, once you have influence on social media, you can pull a lever and make, I don't know, 20, 50 grand. And if you do it, I feel in my legs right now, like, ooh, like don't do that. Because if you sacrifice their trust, you'll never get that trust back. And so say no to that stuff. Do it the right way and you'll be really rewarded. And here's something really important. If you really start to take off on social media and you start your podcast, I'm telling you, we had that the one video of me talking about the shovel that got like, I don't know, I think it was 2.1 million views on Facebook alone. So anyways, because of that video, it opened up the algorithm, and then we, for like 6 months straight, every single video I uploaded on Facebook got an average of 50,000 views. And we just like, boom. And I'd run into people who are like, bro, I see you all over Facebook. You're killing it. And I became the dude that I was like, how does that dude go viral? How does that dude do? And I actually experienced what it's like to go viral and get millions of views online and have money coming in and stuff like that. And I'll tell you one thing, it messed up all our data on Facebook, because now we have the world at large and mainstream America funneling in by hundreds of thousands watching my videos going, this guy's a crook, he's a ripoff, he's a scam artist, who is this guy? Because I'm talking about raising your prices, and I'm talking to contractors, and now we're trying to run Facebook ads, and we're trying to segment the data so we're not blowing money on, because you basically retarget people who have watched your videos like the last 30, 60, 90, 365 days. And I'm like, dude, all these videos have all these views and it's all junk data now, because it's a bunch of random people that is watching the videos that's not our customer avatar, that we can't bring into our back-end funnels. So when I say that, there's a story that Brendan Burchard told. This guy's made like millions and millions online. He said, he was telling a story how he privately coaches famous people and New York Times best-selling authors, and he would meet like a best-selling author, and the best-selling author behind closed doors would reveal that they're broke. And Brendan would be like, what do you mean? You're the author of this famous book. Everybody knows you've been on Oprah. He's like, well, yeah, we went on Oprah and we got several thousand book sales, but then the spike went right back down. And he's like, but what do you mean? I thought you would be a millionaire. He's like, no. And then he met more and more and more viral, famous people, best-selling authors who were all close to broke. And he's like, what the hell is going on? And then he realized that they didn't build the entire, so this is like the front-facing side of your personal brand, social media, what people see, your books, your podcast. If you don't build this is the most important part of this shit. If you don't build your entire back end and systematize a personal brand, so when you do get on you do hit a viral streak, or you get on freaking whatever, Oprah or whatever, any big publication or network, when all those people come rushing to your website, you have to have a page where you can give them something great for free or something, collect their information. You want to collect their email address. You want to collect as much information as you can. I mean, everything about them, if you can't, like their name, their email, their phone number, because you can like remarket to them in different ways. And then you want to send them to a one-time offer, right? If you sell your book for, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 bucks, maybe you want to sell them an entire course, or a course that's free that upsells them to a customer value ascension that sells them something for, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, $1,000, depending on the customer or what it is. Now you can monetize all that and bring them into your world, remarket to them, and you can actually get a customer for life. So if you don't collect all their data and you don't have something to sell them and you don't have a way to track that, then you literally just blew a major opportunity and didn't even know it. So I went nuts at building back-end data and collecting email addresses, and like, I do this in the service business too. Every time I talk to a customer on the phone, and what was your email again? So customers that would hire a different landscaper or window cleaner, a year or two goes by and I market to them just like an email blast. And then they end up going with us because I stayed top of mind. They chose me next time. So it's like you always got to collect their data of your customer list, and the list is everything. And also, if your YouTube blows up and then all of a sudden disappears, you're out of business, you're done. So you want to build an actual real business on the back end that you have all of your own data, and now you have all the emails, you have everything, because don't depend on any social media platform or any ads or any of that stuff. So I have had the opportunity to go do a bunch of brand deals and make money, but it just seems risky to me to totally muddy up my brand for some short-term money. And I really, really want to help people start and grow their business, help them with their social media. So find out your lane and stick with it. Okay, I want to do some Q&A. Is this making sense? All right, good. All right, so any questions? Payjack.
Hey, buddy. Hey, like when you're talking about the back end of your the front, right? You're doing all your podcasts and everything else. On that back end, what would some of those other things include to help? Would it be like switching over?
Oh, he's got a mic. Yeah.
Sorry, but My question is, like, on the back end that you were talking about, like, you have the face of your podcast or social media or whatever it is, and you're talking about that rush when people come to you. What part of the back end would you recommend upping? Like, would it have to be with, like, your servers or your something for the website to be able to handle that type of traffic? Or
Oh, dude, that was a problem 15 years ago. Now, with like stuff like ClickFunnels and Kajabi and Udemy and Teachable, and there's a bunch of them now.
Okay.
They can all handle it.
Gotcha. 'Cause I use Kajabi, so
I mean, if you send like maybe 1 million people at once, it might crash it.
okay,
But that's to the best of my knowledge. You're fine.
perfect. Thank you.
What's up?
Tackling windows and landscape simultaneously. Is that like still doing it?
Tackling windows and landscape simultaneously? Are we still doing it? So I was torn because I was trying to grow the social media business and do landscaping, and I had a dream of growing the window cleaning business and like having fans out with guys working and stuff. And I couldn't focus on anything because I was spreading myself too thin. And that's another thing we're focusing on is we've reduced services. But we got out of people's houses, no more interior cleaning services. Because basically I believe you have to hire employees that are like unicorns to be that conscious going inside of these $1 million homes above grand pianos and not scratching anything and be super conscious. And with the pricing, so I just basically priced us out of the market. So we still have a core group of window cleaning clients, only a few of them. We have a $1,000, this year it'll be a $1,000 minimum to go inside of anybody's house, and I've turned down houses. I'll go and I'll be like, we're not doing that because just the liability factors of, so I just send a guy out with a water fed pole and then he does it and collects the money. But I'm thinking about eliminating window cleaning altogether just to narrow my focus. But you can do it. I wasn't.
You had a lot going on with the media business and landscaping and all that. And calling you since then, I didn't know you were.
Looking back, too many eggs in too many baskets out of fear and desperation. It's a diversification out of desperation. You know, that's what it was. Any other questions? Come on, man.
You obviously,
Huh?
for somebody else, you obviously have this larger than life persona that works really well on camera. What advice do you give to people that maybe are not quite as, I'm going to use this word, eccentric as you are, and how can they develop a persona that connects with people?
Question by Mr. Producer says, I have this larger than life persona. What about people who just maybe don't? Is that kind of the question?
Yeah, that's it. Just,
Yeah.
You've got charisma.
Charisma.
You've got that it factor. Not everybody
The it factor.
has the it factor.
Yeah, so there's a couple different answers to that. One answer is not my answer, but it's like there's literally like people who become famous because they're so boring. Who is this guy? He's I can't think of his name.
Paul Jameson?
No. If you be yourself with the volume turned all the way up and embrace, like, so I'm well aware that there are people who literally can't stand me. I'm weird, I'm quirky, I go down rabbit holes. It's almost like I've had people in the videos say, I feel insecure talking about it, that guy's like, I just can't listen to that guy, right? And even myself, I don't think I could listen to me. When I listen to people, I just want straight facts. Boom, 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 boom. Tell me what to do, I'll go do the shit. I don't want any crazy shit. So, but the other part of that, the answer to that question was, if you don't have it, you have to find a way to dig deep in yourself and develop it and find that unique mechanism inside of you by testing. And if you're making a bunch of content on social media that's not resonating at all, it's because something about it sucks or something about it is unengaging and boring, and you're going to have to keep trying until you get it. And if you don't have it, maybe you go find the person who does, or you just don't do it at all. So I don't know the answer, but I know that if you face fears and do it anyways, you'll find out quick. I don't know the answer.
Just an observation on your walk the line video.
Yeah.
It looked like the end of the line was a liquor store.
I know. That'd be funny.
For a client testimonial video, what would be 3 or 4 questions you'd recommend just for doing?
Oh, for client testimonials? Yeah, so one thing about filming testimonials, and I just did a deep dive on like Parker Walbeck's channel, Full-Time Filmmaker, and I watched like 20 videos about how to film testimonials. And you can literally ask ChatGPT, what are the best questions for testimonials? And I noticed that we've done a lot of filming, and you want to have multiple cameras so you can cut like in between the takes and make it seem seamless. But you might film somebody who's not experienced on camera for 45 minutes for them to actually calm down and get the good stuff out. So you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when you finally turn the camera off, they go, man, but I really do love the way that they did our landscaping, and it was beautiful, honey. And she's like, I know, George, it wasn't. You're like, oh my God, that was the gold. So it's patience and asking the questions that whatever Google says, I can't think of them top of mind, but the goal is to make them feel comfortable so they can relax and become engaged. That's why it's important to find the right customers, because if you got the wrong person, it's just, you're gonna waste your time and money. If you get the right person, and you'll know when you're like, bro, I know you're just the right guy, let me do a testimonial. Make sure they sign off on it, so like, a year down the road, the guy doesn't call you, hey man, I need you to take that shit down. And if they did anyways, you'd probably take it down, but yeah, find the right person and the stuff will flow out naturally. Any more questions?
Keith, can you take us a little bit through the transition of when you went from your landscaping business to then trying to automate everything for social media? Like, that's a pivotal time that people struggle with. A lot of it's psychology, like, I don't want to invest in this, or that costs this much or that, or like, how are you able to make that transition from working till 3 a.m. doing both things to be able to finally transition into, okay, I'm gonna have some virtual assistants or whatever that first step was, and maybe have other people help me with landscaping, whatever. Like, can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so, a funny thing, I heard a Lawn Care Millionaire say something. He says the only way is to grow your way out of it. And that stuck in my head in one of his old videos. I used to binge watch his videos while plowing snow just to get the whole download of like all the kind of best practices, and it changed my life. Thanks, man. And so that kept repeating in my head, grow your way out of it. Oh shit, so if I stay where I'm at, that means I have to change and I have to grow in order to grow my way out of this problem. So basically when the pain gets so bad of where you're at, when the pain of staying the same becomes worse than the pain of changing, you'll change. And the way I kind of quantify that in my brain is like you're being squeezed through the cracks. Like, imagine bricks squeezing like gel so hard that it's squeezing, and you're suffering and you're being forced to change, and it's painful. So when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. It's when you finally call up the mentor, the person who's done it, and you're like, dude, I don't care what it costs. I don't care what I'll wire you $500 or $1,000. I need you to get on Zoom call and walk. I'm ready. I'm doing this now. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm doing this shit. And I noticed that when you get to that place and then you finally commit to hiring the virtual assistant or hiring the foreman or going and getting an office or whatever it is, signing papers on a house, the commitment where you burn the ships for real because it's too painful to stay there, that's when the shit just starts working. Because here's the part of the control factor of having discernment that I didn't get. I felt like I was running around in the world trapped, and I didn't understand why things weren't working for me. And then I learned when you're committed and you're showing up saying, hey, I have a plan and I'm doing this, other people, when they see like a potential employee or a potential virtual, when they see that you're fucking dead serious about what you're about to do and you have certainty and you're doing it with or without them, they're like, well, shit, I've wanted to do something like this, or yeah, this is perfect. I want to do that. Like they will follow and join teams with you because you're committed. But when you're flip-floppy and you're scared and you're not committed, people can see it. And they're like, well, I don't want to come work for this guy. I don't even know if this is like, and so you get in where you fit in. If you're scared, you're going to end up hiring a scared employee or virtual assistant or someone who's also not committed to their shit. And it's not going to work. So it's all part of the progressive model of like the competency progression model. So I got an online course by Ty Lopez called Social Media Marketing Agency. And there was a guy on there named like Joe Soto. He has like a multi-million-dollar agency, and he had a whole thing about how to hire virtual assistants on Upwork.com. I knew I was in pain. I knew I was trying to find virtual assistants, staying up all night editing my own videos. And I get on, and I'm watching this, like, I'm just sitting watching it on my TV, plugged into my laptop. I'm like, wait a second. You could just go on Upwork.com, and he's scrolling through all the different thousands of virtual assistants. I'm like, I closed my laptop, I immediately went on Upwork.com, and I started scrolling, and I hired a virtual assistant immediately in Russia to edit my videos. And it was rocky at first. He went on to edit like probably 150 videos. I think they were cheap, 40 to 80 bucks a piece. And then I was like, well, I need another virtual assistant. So I've been through like, I don't know, 45 virtual assistants, ones that like were all types of problems. And so now I hire fast and I fire fast. So if I have a project that I need to do something, I will go and I'll put out a job post. I scan 100 different virtual assistants and I narrow it down from like, I learn you get what you pay for. So my minimum, depending on the task, could be 15 to 150. I paid $500 an hour. But what I'm looking for, and I get extremely specific, and I make sure that they have this amount of time being a virtual assistant. They've made this many customers happy. I read all the testimonials. I mean their reviews. I look at the work, and I get very clear. So if I have a task, I go through 100 virtual assistants and I narrow it down to 10, and then I narrow that down to the first 3 that I'm going to interview for the position. Then I contact them and I set up Zoom calls and I start interviewing them, and I will know immediately if they're a no or if they're a possible yes, and I'll keep them on Zoom for an entire hour, like looking for a podcast producer or looking for someone to chop up and everything, put it on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Whatever they do, there's 17 virtual assistants that work for me, and I have a core team of 11 that are doing stuff like all the time. And so I'll hire 3, fully intending that I'm going to let the other 2 go really fast. And I'll actually pay extra to have all 3 of them deliver results on the same graphic design project, so I can really quickly see if they were bullshitting or stealing that work for someone else, or having some secret team put their, so because I'm serious about getting these projects done, then when I find the one, then I don't even think that they're going to last more than 6 months, because I don't know what's going to happen or not. And some of them last 6 months, some of them stay for years. And now I have a core team. And then the next thing that we're doing, I'm talking a lot off one question. There's a book by Peter Drucker called Virtual Freedom, and in the center you can turn one of the virtual assistants. So you can hire an executive assistant, or you can turn a virtual assistant into a general assistant. So what I do is I have an executive assistant who is now helping me do project management and being kind of like the integrator. And she's a fucking rock star, bro. It's a dream come true. All the shit that I hated doing and I couldn't stand doing and I've been trying to do since like 2016, she's just like messaging me on Upwork.com. Yeah, we recorded the entire interview and we transcribed it through Otter.ai, then put it through ChatGPT, and then we created a fully integrated workbook with all my branding and all this shit, and it all makes perfect sense. We go through the copy line by line. We spend 5.5 hours on Zoom calls just analyzing the copy and like and making sure everything makes perfect sense. And that's what happens when you have like these really good virtual assistants who can do, and my friend DJ one time, he was like, well, I have one virtual assistant do 6 different things. I'm like, well, does it work? He's like, well, that virtual assistant is doing 6 different things, but not really good. I'm like, well, I have 6 different virtual assistants for 6 different things. He's like, what? You have a different virtual assistant for every different thing? I said, well, yeah, because I learned quickly that one of them like loves just making thumbnails, and you can kind of get them to like edit a podcast, but they're going to suck at it and they hate it, and then they'll just stop doing it after a little bit. So now I have one that just does all the thumbnails in bulk. So I pay my VA. She does 15 thumbnails a month, and they're all dope. She does variations, and I pick the ones I want. If I don't like, she remakes them. I have another VA that edits a podcast, another VA that does a podcast, another VA that does like filming and editing. for different editing reasons. I have a specific editor that's going to edit all this because it's long form content and their experience in editing. Because if you take someone who edits vlogs, who watches crazy Mr. Beast videos, they're literally going to take these 3 camera angles and keep switching it every 5 seconds, and it's going to be horrific. So a truly experienced editor who understands long form content, they're just going to let the camera just sit on me, and once in a blue moon, change it when it's right, or maybe not at all. So it's like, I learned all this shit the hard way, but go hire some VAs. Go on upwork.com and hire a VA to do something. And then hopefully it'll spark in your brain, oh my God, I could like hire people to do all the stuff I suck at. Oh, and you need money to do it. So go find the money or save up the money to do it and then replace yourself like infinitum. Any other questions? You got a question?
I got one.
What's up?
I find it fascinating how you remember so much, especially audiobooks and stuff you listen to. I feel like you always been that way, or you constantly listen to them over again, like binge them?
How do I remember
Yeah, how
stuff?
do you have such good memory? Is it something you worked on, or you've always been that way?
My one friend makes fun of me and says, you're like a walking cliche, bro. So the reason I remember so much shit is because my deepest fear and insecurity is being stupid and incompetent. And there's some mental illness in my extended family. And so I'm so afraid of being stupid that I'm obsessed with knowledge and learning, but it's rooted in like a deficit. So it's like, yeah.
I just have no idea how you keep all that in your head, like names, and parts out of books and stuff. It just like blows my mind. I can't do that.
It's just because I'm insecure. Anything else about automating your social media marketing?
No, off topic.
Yeah.
I read most of the books that you gave out at the expo. With some books that you've been reading recently.
Books. Audible.com. I've got the pro version on audible.com, and so I try to always be listening and learning. Get audible.com. Okay, here's the books. Right now I'm listening to The Expectation Effect. Excuse me. Talking about basically what you expect is you're going to create that. Like some people, they give them they gave a guy a bunch of placebo pills because he was sick, but they weren't even real pills, and he was going to commit suicide, so he took them all, and he actually he went to like the emergency room, and he was in the hospital. He turned white, and he was like sweating, and like and then they called up his doctor, and he was like, no, it was part of a clinical study. They were fake. And he was like, oh, okay. And so whatever you expect. So I'm obsessed with stuff like that, like positive expectancy. Happy Pocket Full of Money, Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday, Process by Mike Payton. I'm really into the Gino Wickman, Traction, Get a Grip, Rocket Fuel type books and EOS method. Gino Wickman's a genius. He'll help you overcome a lot of head trash. Dan Sullivan, Strategic Coach. I love all the Garrett Sutton, Robert Kiyosaki stuff. Like the ABCs of buying and selling a business and Vail not. I was going to sell my window cleaning business, and I found out it wasn't really worth anything. And so the offer I got, I was like, dude, I'm just going to shut that shit down. So go read a book. If you have anything you want to know about, if you're having problems in your marriage, go get a book. 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, right? And read that. If you want to know how to market, get a book on marketing. 10X is Easier Than 2X by Dan Sullivan. Crucial Conversations. I can go on for hours. I won't. Oh. All Alex Hormozy stuff. Get his physical book and the audiobook and read them at the same time. It'll level up The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Dude, he was the dude. This summer... he said, instead of going and upgrading your lifestyle and buying that fancy Cadillac, take that money and reinvest it into your business and hire an executive assistant. I never understood why some of these guys were like, dude, we're doing $7 million on meat and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm like, what? You should be balling. It's because they understand that they're going to be trapped at that level if they don't keep reinvesting. So, David Goggins' book, Never Finished. Anybody listen to that? It is amazing. Okay. The Gospel According to Jesus. That'll give you a checkup from the neck up, bro. The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly. So if you hire people, find out what their dreams are and help them build their dreams as a leader. Do you know about that? Anybody? Okay. Any other questions?
Nope, I got a new list, thank you.
Okay, so your homework is take out your smartphone. If you don't have a YouTube channel, start one. And just tell your story. Where you got started, how you started your business, the struggles that you went through, and how you overcame them, and how you got to where you're at today, and press upload. No matter what happens, keep uploading and sharing. But start it and do it, and keep doing it, and be consistent at it. And it'll open up opportunities like you wouldn't believe. Like I said, my friend Eric sold $1 million roofing job off that. Like, that's crazy. I won't get into like the tags and titles and stuff, but you can leverage it so it actually gets you more work in your local market, and you can just do so much. Okay, so I have a freebie download for you guys before I go. I have an entire workbook that I've created for this. Oh, I'm going to write it right here. It's keithkalfas.com/smartphone. It's an entire guide on how to film and do social media with your smartphone. You don't need any fancy cameras or anything.
God bless you.
Bless you. Type that in your browser. Yeah, take out your phones, open your browser, type it in, and you'll get the free PDF guide. Hey, here's another hack. Well, I'll wait till you do this after.
Just asking for my name and email, though.
Of course it is.
We need to put a credit card number in?
Nope, it's totally free. Because also this is going on a special list where I'm inviting anybody who wants to come on a totally free Zoom call where I'll do a deep dive and teach you guys how to actually implement this stuff on a group coaching call, totally free. Think about that. Let me know when you got it. Oh, I thought this was going to pop up there. How did that?
It's magic, Keith.
Oh.
They're trying to help you out, the great folks at Creator Clubhouse. They don't play around. They did what you said. They pulled it up for you. That's what it looks like.
This is... Why is there... Is this a reroute? We just finished this. I had my assistant, I said make sure the URL is something speakable that I can speak. Oh, it's showing up on yours? Maybe it's on mobile only right now. All right, cool. I stood on stage at an event a couple years ago with text message marketing, and I threw it up. Everybody text this to this. I think there was like a... What?
There's a click here button. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is actually just my main website. It's the wrong page. I don't know why it's...
It works working on
It works on the phone though?
I downloaded it and it works.
Okay. So I was like, everybody text this to this, and then I was able to get, I don't know, 101 out of 105 people. Boom. And then was able to communicate with them through text messaging. Okay, cool. That's all I got. I'll send you an email within a week, and then you can jump on a Zoom call, and I'll help you implement any of it if you want. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Naylor.
I appreciate you taking the trip down here for sure. A little warmer than Michigan, but not by much. I don't know what happened, but thank you very much. Great job.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you again very much for spending the last 2 days with us. I enjoyed this venue and the great staff from Creator Clubhouse. David killing it for 15 minutes. Can't wait to hear him speak some more in the future. Remember code LCR at podfestexpo.com, which is next week.